Hey, it's Sue here with Awakened Stories. I'm here today with the real and the original John Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you today?
I'm surviving, Sue. I'm just trying to get by another day.
We were just talking before we signed on that it's kind of sometimes you feel like you don't want to tell the story just one more time. You don't want to have to deal with people, the haters and all the attacks and the crazy stuff that are happening, And I get it. Sometimes you're just tired of fighting, and that's what they want is us to give up. And
Oh yeah, they got all the money in the world, and I was scrolling. There I go with the ums again. I gotta be careful.
no worries. Yeah.
It's a habit. Uh, I don't know if it's been programmed into me. Just like I think of it all the time. When somebody comes up and kicks you in the balls, you say that's funny. If something bad in your life happens, it's programmed into my head to say that's funny, even though it's not funny at all, but it's programmed. I know it's programmed because every time something bad happens to me, I say that's funny, and it's not funny, but it's programmed into me to say it's funny all the time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I I, I can't stop it. I keep thinking, that's funny when anything bad happens to me. That's funny when it's actually not.
Yeah. Well, you
I
know
can't
what?
explain it.
You just have to keep out, putting the videos out. Like I watched a live, I think it was last night, and people are there to support you. Like maybe you're not noticing results on your end, but the people that are watching, the guys that are supporters will support you and try to share and all that. It's just sometimes you get discouraged and a little bit you feel beaten up and just you take
They
a
they
little break.
want it.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
got all the money in the world.
yeah.
I scrolled TikTok last night before I went to bed. Every other TikTok is about Donald Trump. Every single one. If it's not Donald Trump, it's Harris. They got all the money to be pouring it out there, getting all this support. They're the worst candidates in the world. They're the cabal, for God's sakes. They are the cabal. And we are brainwashed into thinking we only have the cabal to vote for. People need to really wake up, but it's really discouraging because I look at my YouTube and it says I have 2,710 subscribers or something like that. And it doesn't go up. People say they leave comments and they don't, they disappear. People say they put likes on there. People say they subscribe to my channel and then
Yeah,
they're unsubscribed.
yeah,
These people, the cabal, are doing this because this story should be number one and people can see it, but they're not, it's not getting out because they're not allowing it to get out. They're hindering it.
right.
it, it it's crimes. It really is.
Yeah. The censorship is real, it's huge. And I mean, all of the news out there is basically propaganda. There's always an agenda. They're always supporting somebody that they've been promoting through their ranks for a reason. Like, think of it this way, we are a superpower, right? The US or was. And that is the best we can do for a candidate. Are you kidding me? So
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
closely
actually
following it because it's theater anyways. It's just fun to watch a little bit.
they put out these people, and there's literally thousands of more candidates more
Yeah,
qualified. But the cabal, organized crime, has taken over the Democratic and the Republican parties. They
yeah,
have. They
yep.
put in place the worst candidates to destroy the country. So when something bad happens, we blame them. We always think there's a savior. That Donald Trump's going to save us this time. Then he's not. It's all lies. It's all cabal throwing, illusion out that there's something there, but it's not going to happen. It really isn't.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm exposing. Me and Robin were talking on a car ride yesterday, and we were talking about the Quigley family and how they acted to my son's death and this other thing. And I said, what's in my book, Robin? I'm exposing them to this murder. I'm exposing them to this murder. the murder of these people? How do you think they are going to act? Straight up, they don't want my story out. How do
Right,
you think Caroline Kennedy is reacting to my book, my story? I'm exposing them to identity theft, that they are fake, they are frauds, they are accessories to pre-planned first-degree murder. Accessories. They filled somebody's shoes that was murdered, and they've been pulling it off.
right,
How do you think these? We're going to get hate. We're going to get all kinds of attacks
right.
because it's huge what I'm exposing in this book, what we're exposing right here. You really can't blame them. They're evil people and they've done evil deeds, and we're bringing out those evil deeds.
Right, right. Yeah, so for those that don't know, this is the book we always talk about, all right? Available on Amazon. And we've done some earlier videos which talk about the stories that are in the book. So we're assuming that you've watched that already. But yeah, why would anyone think that the cabal would promote or allow this story to get out when they're the ones perpetrating the crime? Doesn't even make sense. So
I'm
yeah, that,
exposing the
yeah,
news media. They don't want this story out. I'm exposing how the news media has been taken over by the cabal, has been controlled by placing people at a young age like Sean Hannity of Fox News,
yeah,
Bill O'Reilly, all these top, David Letterman, all these people at the top that work for the cabal that do what they're told by the cabal. I'm
yeah,
exposing all that, but what I personally learned,
yeah,
we're a regime no better than any other third world country or the Communist Party, to be controlled, to be ruled, to be slaves by our government. And I'm exposing what's happened, what I personally know. They don't want it out. I
yeah,
got a story to share. I don't know if I should share it. Sometimes I don't share stories because it can endanger me, my loved ones, people around me. But I got to share this story because it's been pissing me off all week long. It really has. So me and Robin moved for our own safety to a trailer park, an RV park, a campground, basically. We're out in the middle of the freaking desert in a dirt field. We have had many people move in next to us. They'll stay for a couple of days, stay for a week, stay for a month, and then leave. Well, this gal parked next to us. I'm friendly to everyone. I'm John Kennedy. I say hi, hello, good morning. This gal moved next to us. I didn't even know her name. I don't remember names. I don't care to remember names because that's what I was taught. If I was ever kidnapped, captured, tortured, if I knew somebody's name, I could tell that name. But anyway, she moved in. I said, hi, my name's John. My better half's name's Robin. We're your neighbors. I said hello a couple times. She was here a week, I believe, only a week. Matter of fact, I was doing live with Kia Pruitt, and one of my RV tires blew up, exploded. It shook the whole house. It was loud. But anyway, my RV tire exploded. So I got a new tire and I changed it. It's kind of next to her thing, but I had to put a new tire in case I have to pack up and leave in a hurry. That was the closest I ever got to her trailer, was my trailer. Well, she called management and she said I was fucking with her. She said she physically saw me climb up her ladder and cut her internet cable. She saw me do it. I don't know how that's even possible. I've never even climbed my own ladder. Robin climbs up because my health issues and every other thing. So it's not even really physically possible for me to do it, but I was accused. She never said anything. The manager came down and he was standing by my truck one day. And I went out and I'm looking at him and I'm wondering why he's standing next to my truck. Are they fucking with my truck now? I was just curious, but he didn't say anything. He asked about my internet. I said, yeah, I got internet. They come and put it on here for me. But he left, didn't say a word. Me and Robin went to check on my son's house, do some things. We're down there. We had lunch. I got a call from management. I need to speak with you as soon as possible. Come down to the office. And we're out of town. I was like, well, I'm out of town, but as soon as I get there, I will. Will you tell me what this is regarding? I can't. It'll upset you. I'm not going to tell you. I went, what the fuck? Our house just burnt down. My little dog and that cat in that house just burnt to death. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So me and Robin haul ass 85 mile an hour, get to the campground. The house is fine. I check on the dogs. I go to the management office. He's all pissed off. He looks like he's going to kick my ass, try to kick my ass anyway. That would, anyway, I'm not going to go there. But he said, what about this gal accusing you, seeing you of messing around her house? Never happened, sir. Never. Well, I have to check into this because I believe her if she's, and I'm like, really? And he was like, well, if I had video camera evidence, I would evict you right now. And I'm like, might not have to do that because I might just leave all on my own. But it's crazy what people will do to fuck with you for no reason. I never came near that woman's house. Matter of fact, I gave her my book. I said, do you read? I was getting in my pickup truck one morning. I said, do you read? She's like, well, what's it about? I said, I'm John Kennedy Jr. My father was president. It's about me. She said, yeah, let me have the book. So I was reaching in my book. She came over, never even went near her trailer. I handed her the book. I went, did my thing around town. I came back. The book was sitting on my trailer. She couldn't have even read 2 pages of it. So what's going on? I have no idea, but I'm being accused of crimes that I didn't commit. And they were put here. I didn't, I've been here for 7 months now. This person was here a week, pulled up next to me. What's going on?
Yeah.
But anyway, sometimes I shouldn't share stories like that because a little story like that can spiral. What is this woman saying? Just like my ex and everything else. Is she telling her boyfriends that I raped her? That I knocked her in the mouth? What could, it can spiral way out of control. Just the little things. I mean, I never cut her internet cable for one. Is she telling everybody? Well, obviously she's telling the manager I cut her internet cable. Who else is she telling? What else did I do that I didn't do? So things can spiral out of control really, really fast on just something stupid.
So
But anyway, I wanted to share that story.
she accused you of cutting her internet when, again, you've been there for a while and he knows you, but he took her side. That's interesting. And I wonder,
Well, I stayed away. I rented the place. I don't go there. I try not to go there. So I don't really know if he really knew me or not. But the thing is, she packed up and left. I was like, well, another one came and went. But he was telling me she left because of me messing with her.
well, we don't know the truth of that. She could have been using that all as an excuse, or she could have been targeting you and just happened to find you. You know what I'm saying?
And got a piece of my book of who I really am. I don't know the answers. All I know, I was falsely accused.
Yeah.
I don't like being falsely accused. It costs me a lot of money every time. I've been dealing with this my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I have to pack up and I have to move somewhere else. That's thousands of dollars. It's not cheap being John Kennedy Jr. and having to travel around because they don't want my story out. They want to keep me poor. They want to keep me broke. They don't want story out. They're going to kick me off of TikTok. They don't want me to have a platform. I really want to go to Arlington, Virginia for the biggest photo op and place this on my father's grave. They take me off of TikTok. They block me and hinder me from Facebook, where I only get 2, 3 likes on my, from the same people over and over again. They do what they do on YouTube. They don't want the truth out
Right,
because the truth is exposing their evil deeds.
right.
From me, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. They don't want me in a court of law, but the things they do really just day in and day out, and it puts me in the bummer. It puts me in the funk.
Yeah,
I just got my, they told me it would be 2 weeks to get my son's death certificate. I just got it yesterday in the mail. Opened it up, read it. That puts a big head trip on anybody.
yeah,
Especially me.
yeah,
It's right there on paper. My son's dead now. Um, I blame the cabal. I blame MK Ultra. I blame the system for he being the son of me. You know, there was so many attacks on my life and every other thing. And it's always in my heart. It's not anything I've done to these people. I didn't cut that woman's internet cable. It's not what I have done, but it's who I am and what I can expose
yeah.
just for being alive. And they can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, I can see how it gets frustrating because like it's like you're climbing it up. It's like you're climbing up, you make a step forward and then 3 back, as they say. And then you feel like you're making headway, you get excited, and then something else happens to blow the wind out of your sails. So all I can say is chin up and keep going because the story needs to
I
get out. And our core group here will support you. They're spreading the videos and they're spreading the book. It's getting out there. It just there's a lot of censorship and people that don't want it.
oh
Yeah,
Dr. Kia was sharing my story. They kicked her off 3 times
yeah,
YouTube. She had thousands of followers too, but we're
yeah,
not getting the views. I have literally shared my story thousands and thousands of times in the last 8 years, over and over. The
right.
murders of my loved ones. It gets old. It gets hindering,
Yeah,
and especially with all those thousands of videos that I put out. You know, 2,700 subscribers when I should have 2,700,000 subscribers. For real. For real.
I know, I know.
And it's discouraging. The story's not getting out. I wish people would grab up a sign, and hold it when they go to work, or anything that would help. But it really needs, my story really needs to get out. It's exposing these people.
Yeah. Well, you know that they're fabricating the numbers. So they're, of course, the views are always a lot less than they really are, the shares, etc. But they're also making it hard for people to find your channel. So the link will be in the description, the correct link, because there are imposter channels out there. But they make it hard because I've gone on trying to find your channel. I can't find it, right? So what I have to do is go to my channel and I've got a little link there in all the videos and click on it. And that's how I get to your channel. That's crazy.
Yeah, anybody that sees this video that's lucky enough to see me and Sue sitting here talking today,
Yeah.
and I mean lucky enough to hear our truth of what we're sharing, please put that right there in the Google search,
Yeah.
in Bing, in whatever Google you got. Put that in there. Let's get the search engines knowing that there's people wanting to know what that's all about.
Yeah.
It's so appreciated. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really important to get the story out there because, like we were saying before, the story of what's happened to you is going to ripple out to everyone in the world, not just the US, although, primarily, initially, the entire world. This corruption is worldwide, and what they're doing to all the celebrities, the influencers, their offspring, they're doing similar things. They're either indoctrinating them or they're doing what they've done to you. They usually take them out, they replace them with somebody that they can control. And then, we see erratic behavior, they look a little different. So there's a lot of nefarious stuff going on that we're not aware of. It needs to stop. It needs to stop.
Yeah, it really does. It's one big movie. It's a top.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
one big movie to rule us, to
yeah,
control us,
yeah,
to enslave every American, every person around the world, to enslave us,
right.
so they can get on their, jet plane, so they can get on their multi-million-dollar yacht, eat their caviar. I was a child when I was on Aristotle Onassis's yacht. That was the big thing: caviar, champagne. That's what the billionaires do. They really don't care about people like us. They don't,
Yeah, yeah. I always
because that's how.
wondered, we see on the movies, the wealthy people, they get on a plane or whatever, and they always have champagne. And I was always like, do they really do that? But it seems like there's a lot of partying going on with these celebrities.
Oh, my sister Christina, man, she would look forward every single day to have that party Friday, Saturday. It was a thing. It was a huge thing.
Yeah,
Who do we invite? What millionaires are we going to invite to this party this week?
yeah,
It, it was the agenda. It really was.
interesting. Yeah. Where like I went grocery shopping the other day and something I was getting for three something is now seven something in like what, 2, 3 years? That's crazy. So that's what the common folk are dealing with, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people are surviving.
Yeah,
I really don't.
yeah,
Sometimes I wonder how I'm surviving. Me sharing my story has put many more bills on me. The internet bill, just, you know, all the little things put together. Um, you know, I
yeah,
get hit with a YouTube bill just so I could share this story.
yeah,
Little bills that I had to acquire. They all add up, and yeah, anyway,
yeah.
I got to
I
quit
know.
crying about it. But
Mm,
inflation has devastated it.
right.
It's the
So,
government. When our government is controlled by organized crime, and I mean totally controlled by organized crime, it affects us because they're getting richer, we're getting poorer, and that's the game. So if we want to change inflation and we want to change the way things are running, we got to get rid of those evil people that have been bullshitting us, lying to us, deceiving us, that
right,
are in our government. We got to get rid of them. We
right.
got to get rid of them and put in some good, honest people that care about this country, and not people that are just going to stand up and say, "Hey, I care about you," when they really don't.
It's like every company, every corporation is greedy and all they want is more money. They don't care how they go about getting it. They don't care who they hurt, if they hurt the environment, animals, the people, it doesn't matter. That needs to be brought out to light as well. Like that's part of the problem and it's hand in hand. I just got a like an intuitive hint that we should talk about something I think kind of talked about a little bit last week. We had talked about a near death experience, and you had said that you used to pray when you'd have trouble. And I wanted to ask more about that because I know you were kidnapped several times, beaten, you know, taken to these horrible places to witness murders and things. Did you always pray, or like, what did that look like to you?
Well, I've been through so many near death experiences.
Yeah,
It was almost like I was preparing myself when I would pray to meet my maker.
right.
Um, so when I said I was praying, like even in that cage, I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm going to this next world. Um, it's not like you're driving down the road and you say a little prayer. When I was praying, I was going to see God in 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 30 seconds. Um, yeah. So when I was saying I was praying, I literally thought I was going to talk with God at any
Yeah,
second.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's, like I said, you got an amazing attitude. You're here to help the people. And I think that goes hand in hand. One of my first experiences with a near-death experience, in fact, my first memory, I was like probably 2 or 3, and I can remember like being sucked up and looking back at planet Earth and hovering there for a while, and then coming right back down into my body. And I don't even know if I could clearly talk then. And I did tell people about it later in life, and it wasn't a big deal, but it is kind of a big deal, you know? So I was sent back here for a reason. And I haven't had the experiences that you have, but there's a reason we're here. So you got to always keep that in mind. You're here to do a job you volunteered for, probably, which is, horrific, but you're here to expose the darkness. And the
And
reason,
I hope people really get where I'm coming from because I'm 63 years old. I don't plan on living very long. I really don't. I mean, how much longer could I live, in the matter of years, especially with all I've been through in my poor health and every other thing. Some days, anyway, I keep listening to King Smarty say positive, positive.
well, that's what I was just gonna say is you don't know that. Like you're looking better and better every day. You know what I mean? So he sent you a bunch of frequency healing products. You're looking better, they're sinking in, and you just have to keep yourself positive because you're going through a rough patch right now. Like you've
Yeah.
had a trauma, and it takes a while to get through that, as you know.
I don't advertise. I don't plan on living. So I'm doing what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to do this for the future,
Yeah.
for Americans, for the people that have family and loved ones. I don't plan on being here that long. So what I'm doing right now in my heart is for the future of America, for the people that have died already fighting for this country.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be for nothing.
Right.
So when I say if I drop the flag, people pick it up and carry it on. Don't use what I'm sharing to help me. Use what I'm sharing to help yourselves. That's where it's in my heart. And I hope people get it. I share comments like, and I get the haters. Prove who you are. Prove who I. You can't prove me wrong. I'm sharing my truthful stories. My life has been hell. You prove me wrong. I shouldn't have to prove myself. I really shouldn't. People get it or they don't get it. But there's so many enemies. But anyway, I just wanted to share. That's where my heart is. It's for the future
Yeah.
of this country, for the future of America, the people with families. I don't want to see these other countries come in and take over. They're already they've already taken over, people. There's more to one step to a war. The war killed my family. It's a secret war. It's been covered up, but it is still war. It's not with hundreds and thousands of troops. It's with spy versus spy. It's planting someone at the top's murder, killing them, replacing them. It's still a war. I've still lost my loved ones. People need to wake up at what I'm sharing. They really, really do.
An ongoing war. So we've been in the struggle of, for Earth, basically light versus dark for the longest time. And so we've had overt wars where, people are tricked into volunteering or whatever. They participate, they get killed, they get maimed, and they get disillusioned and then tossed to the side because they've been tricked. It wasn't even a real cause that, it's so sad. But there's also a secret covert war, and that's what you're talking about. We have to learn all the things that they've done and why they've done it. So, for example, you've taught me through these videos why the cabal will take over someone's identity, how they do it and why they do it. And, again, I haven't been exposed to that, so it's something I learned, but now I see it everywhere. See, now, once you've learned it, you can't unlearn it. You can't unsee it. I see it everywhere. So you have to
And they
educate yourself.
don't they
Yeah,
don't want them, they don't want the average people to see it.
no,
They really don't.
yeah, yeah. So it's out there. So the war is real. The war is real. It's
And when
waging
I get a
on.
comment, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I
Yes.
love those comments. I really, really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
even in my life, there's, I've supported people, and and when you wake up and you realize, this is war, I was wrong on, it takes a lot to say, hey, I was wrong. I was totally fooled. I was tricked. I was lied to. I believed those lies. It takes a big person to admit that. It really, really does. But the American people, the people around the world, you all have been lied to. You're being
Oh, the volume kicked out. Oh,
wake
no.
up and realize. I think we just got cut off or something.
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, you blipped out for a minute. You were
and that's never happened. It just flashed on my screen that said no internet connection.
Of course not. Yeah. So yeah, censorship is real. I was talking to John before we signed on. My website's been down for a while. Okay. And I have to pay to get it back up. I have already paid for the website, but there's another fee involved. And I'm like, well, I'm debating what to do. Yeah, because it's a game. Everybody's got their hand out for money or whatever their agenda is. But education is always the first thing. You gotta look around and see what's happening. Educate yourself so we know why and how they're doing it. Now we look around in the news and we're saying, oh, so now we see it, right?
It's so huge what our government is allowing,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they are allowing, probably because they're behind it.
Of
I
course
wanted a toolbox. I wanted a toolbox for my truck.
they're
I got my tools all laying in the back of the truck. I wanted a toolbox. So I was looking on Marketplace. I was looking on Craigslist for a toolbox. I found a used one for $100. So I went to check out what they cost new. And they were, $300-400 for the same toolbox that was 100. But then I seen a brand new toolbox for $69, brand spanking new. And I said, well, if I can get a new one cheaper than I can get one on Marketplace or Craigslist, I'm going to get it. And I looked at my account. I had $107 in my account. I said, I'm buying this toolbox because it's only $69. So I clicked on the link and it said, fill out all your information to buy this toolbox. I filled out my name, address, um, credit card information, and I thought it would take me to the link where you check out. After you do all that, it says go to checkout. So I clicked on that link, and I got a message from my Cash App. It said, we refused your payment to Shits and Giggles. I went, what? Of $69.99. So it was all a big scam just to get my information and my credit card information. And thanks to Cash App, they denied that payment to Shits and Giggles because the company I was buying the toolbox from said like Eli Warehouse or something like that. But I was actually paying somebody called Shits and Giggles.
Oh, wow.
But
Yeah,
at least Cash App denied my payments. I didn't get my new toolbox, but I didn't get screwed out of $69.99 either.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it was right there on Google search where you type in toolbox and all these, shopping and all these new toolboxes come up. The eBay comes up, Amazon comes up. This Eli Warehouse was right there with them, and it's just a scam to steal your information. How is that allowed? Once it comes up once, that goes into a supercomputer. They know it's going on. Obviously, Cashapp knows it's going on because they denied that payment. But it's like they're putting it in your face. Shits and giggles for real?
Yeah, that is crazy, isn't it? Yeah, they know who's doing a lot of this stuff, and it's still allowed, like you said. Yeah.
Just like the kidnapping and the child abuse and, protective services and all this other stuff that's going on. They're looking the other way. They are looking the other way. And I personally know that. When I went to the FBI, I mean, over the years, especially in the 80s when my life was really in danger and I was flat out paranoid, it was getting to me. I had the 2,000-yard stare, worse than it is now. But I went to the FBI and I said, hey, get your fucking lawn chair, come out with me. I'll dig up the body for you. All you have to do is sit in the lawn chair while I dig up the body. It's okay. It's okay. They called me Dave, but they said, it's okay, Dad. Just go away. It's all good. Don't
Wow.
worry about it. Just go away. And it's like, you don't want me to bring lemonade while you're sitting there? Well, I dig up the body to show you this is real. So,
Wow.
yeah,
So they didn't, like you told them, and they didn't have any interest in pursuing that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I know in your book you've said repeatedly that you've gone to the FBI multiple times and they always like basically shooed you out of there, you know?
I carried a picture of my son in my wallet. My son was like a little guy, 2 years old, 1.5 years old, but he was sitting on this guy's lap wearing a clown nose. This guy had a knife up to my kid. I took that picture to the FBI and I said, look, this is kidnapping. This is extortion. This is shit's real. The lady that I was talking to at the little window, talking through the little fucking hole at the FBI said, we don't do pictures. Go away. That's
Whoa.
what the lady behind. I'm showing them a picture of a child with a buck knife up to the kid, and they're saying we don't do pictures. Go away, because they already knew who I was. That they couldn't expose my story or help me because I
Right,
would be exposing them for being criminals that they are.
right.
But I got. I'm. My heart's getting all worked up. I got to take a real quick break soon.
Okay, we'll hang. So this is a time I practice my infomercial skills. So please buy, purchase, rent the book Stolen Identity. The story is it's an easy to read book, although the content is hard to read. But if you'll even purchase extra books, if you have enough funding, share them with people that haven't read it. Request that your library purchase the book, write reviews for Amazon, the library, wherever you're seeing the book out there. Google search it. That helps with the algorithms, supposedly. And it'll help John as well, get the story out. Like I always said, we need to get this story out at the grassroots level. Like first we need to hear the story and understand it, believe it, and then pass it along to others that don't know. And a lot of people don't know. You know, we were taught and programmed that the guy on the cover of People magazine was John Kennedy and he's been dead. That's why it's so hard for people to accept that the story was false, that we've been taught incorrect stories, incorrect history, incorrect everything our whole lives. And not all of it was malicious, like our parents taught us what they knew. Our teachers taught us what they knew and what they had learned. But someone started that movement of telling us incorrect information. And I think it's only been the past 100 years or so that it's really been amplified. And I think that's because of communications. So one of the things I've learned a lot from Smarty is the history of our planet, of Earth, of civilization, society is not what we've been taught at all. Like a lot of the wars and a lot of the events that we've had have been false flags. And they've been basically distraction. And of course, before you know, you're innocent and you just believe what they tell you. But we need to wake up and let the other people know what we've learned and that there's so much corruption out there. It's way bigger than we can imagine. It's crazy. Yeah,
Way bigger.
way bigger. Yeah. So
These people at the top, they're the best of the best at what they do.
totally.
And one of them is deceiving us. One of it is keeping us in chains, keeping us slaves to them. You
Yeah.
know, they're great at starting wars
Yeah.
and things for money, power, oil.
Yeah. Well, they have big, deep pockets, but they also have the system and the structure in place. Look at mainstream media. They own that. Like, we can't convince the masses because we don't have a way in. So we have to do, graphics, videos, like you've done. The book lends you great credibility. We have to start small and work our way up, one person at a time.
With
Yeah.
that said, please see the reviews on Amazon.
Yeah.
Please read them. They'll give you something to do. But yeah, it would be so
Yeah.
much appreciated just to read the reviews on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I know you've been discouraged and we're here to support you. All right. There's always going to be haters out there. And we can't like force a hater to believe, but we can show them in dribs and drabs how stories that we're told out there are not right. And maybe, their eyes will be opened. So that's the only thing we can do. You can only take care of yourself, right? And influence what your thoughts are. But if you can kind of show people or tell them the stories, they might poo-poo it, but they've heard it. Once heard, it can't be unheard. Then other things will come in to support what we've told them, you know.
I like that.
That's- yeah. So we're
Once
telling
heard
them,
can't be unheard.
yeah, we're telling them the story of your life and what's happened to you. And then as their eyes are a little bit more opened, other supporting things will come in and they're going to start believing more and more and they're going to see it more and more, just like we are. So we can't give up. Can't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a way for a platform where we can all join together and unite as one and not being hindered and taken down and blocked
Yeah.
and shadow banned. There's got to be a way that we can all unite. And that's they don't want us to unite in any which
Right.
way.
Right.
They don't. But we gotta break their chains and figure out a way to unite.
Agreed. Agreed. So I think, again, like I say all the time, the first step is awareness, just like those 12-step programs. We need awareness of what the problem is. Okay, so we have corruption, we have lies, we have like it's beyond what we can imagine. So we have to find out what that's all about. And in my past, say 20 years, I've learned so much coincidentally, um, naturally, organically. And then I started researching. So I've gone wide and I don't really need to go as deep anymore because I have a bigger picture and a broader picture. But there's so much out there we don't know. It's crazy, right?
I would like to explain it for a second to the people that don't know my story that might be just seeing this video. Just real quick, my father was the president of the United States of America. My father was assassinated by our own government, people within our government, when I was 3. They did not stop killing people. They killed my mother. They killed my sister. They killed my mother's side of the family, my father's side of the family. This is people in our government. I was put in witness protection, whatever. I was taken out by some good people, placed with another family at a young age. I'm sharing all that with you. They put people in power. These people, it's a big satanic cult. It's called the mafia. It's called organized crime. It's called the Communist Party. It's called many things, but it's evil people that have joined together, many different cells. They pre-plan a murder. They carry out that murder. They replace someone that looks similar to that person if there's money in it for them. Some people will just have a heart attack and die. Some people will have a car accident, a plane accident, whatever they can do because they're the best at what they do. They're the most powerful people in the world. They can make a plane crash. They can make a helicopter crash. They can make a car crash. They have the power to do that. It's the people they keep in place, just the few that control the billions of dollars that they get a replacement for. They got a replacement for my sister. They got a replacement for me. They got a replacement for Donald Trump. They got a replacement for my mother. Those four replacements just right there made them billions of dollars. Donald Trump's billions. Donald Trump's billions of dollars that replacement got them. My mother married Aristotle Onassis, a Greek billionaire. That replacement of my mother got them the Kennedy fortunes, got them the Onassis fortunes. It got them billions of dollars. The replacement of me was part of it, millions of dollars. Caroline Kennedy, my sister that was murdered and replaced, got them millions of dollars. Those four people they replaced. It's easier for them to do those four replacements than it is to rob banks for thousands. We're talking billions. I'm sharing what they have been doing, the takeover of the United States with their identity theft and their pre-planned murders for all their billions of dollars. That's why we are being hindered, because these people are running the media. These people are running everything. Every single thing that has money involved, sporting events, our government, they are in control of us. So, I was replaced at the age of 10. They put blood in, blood out. They are organized crime. They are a secret society. They like big families. They like children. They raise these children. They put their bloodlines in place. They murdered my family, put their bloodlines in our place so they could live the life of riches and power. And that's what was done. And what's coming, worries the heck out of me.
Right.
Because once they have all these pieces put in place, they're coming after the small guy. They're coming after the real estate. They're coming after everything else. And I'm sharing that. So I just wanted to put that out there for the new people, the people that don't know what's really going on out there.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very, very pertinent story to what's happening now. So they are willing to kill, torture, kidnap, you name the crime. Any celebrity, famous person, whatever, in this case, John, just for the money, control, and power. And now we know a little bit about how it works. So,
And they got it all, our FBI, our Secret Service, our CIA, the police, the prison system. It's not hard for them to find criminals to do their evil deeds for them. That's all they have to do is go to prison. Um, they got it all on paper. They got everything on their supercomputers. If
yeah,
they want somebody to do an evil deed that's in prison, it's not very hard to control that
right,
person.
right,
It's not very hard to say, hey, we'll let you out early or we'll take care of you, but you got to do this killing for us. There's so many cells like that. There's so many organizations, and they can put so many people in their pockets so fast. It spreads like wildfire. It really, really does. We're just
right.
the little guy, and that's what we're up against. We're up against the, Goliath.
Yeah. And it does tend to make you feel discouraged. You've been working so hard every day, putting out videos, trying to talk with people, things get taken down, corrupted. It gets discouraging. And I get that. And you feel tired sometimes. You got to keep picking yourself back up. You got to be there because you're very strong. You were chosen for a reason, and the world needs to hear.
Yeah, I do get discouraged.
Yeah.
I can't, I got to keep plugging along, but I shared our video on my YouTube and I looked last night or this morning and I think it had 300 views. I made one the other day on my channel. It had 300 views. I'm like, this is the biggest story of the century. It
Yeah,
really is. What I'm exposing, who I am,
yeah,
300 views.
yeah, yeah,
What is going on? They took it all down, but I searched myself. I'm pretty sure they took it down. I was using the Google search and stuff, but I searched myself last month, and I believe it said TikTok had shared 8 million videos of John Kennedy, David Quigley, the real John Kennedy Jr. 8 point something million. But they took it down. They took my whole channel down. I think it started spreading like wildfire, and they knew they had to do something. So who they paid off, what they did, I wish I knew,
yeah.
but they did what they had to do to squash the truth.
Right, right. Well, like I said, the dark side has the media behind them. They have them in their back pocket. They tell them what to say. They've got guys in computer rooms, trolling us, taking our stuff down, censoring us, all sorts of crazy stuff. You just got to keep going. Yeah,
Yeah, they do. That's
yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry, it feels a little like it feels discouraging, you know. But like I said, you were chosen for a reason. You're super strong. Like no one else would have been able to get through the life you've had and had a good attitude on the other side. Nobody else could have done that except you. So I'm glad you're there. I'm glad that you're bringing your story out. I mean, I know it's not easy. It's you feel like you're not making progress, but you totally are. So you just have to hang in there for us.
And there's people out there that could get my story out like
Yeah.
this. One thing that keeps me going is when I was young, Wayne said, if I wanted you out, you would be out. Because Wayne made stars. Wayne made stars. He was that popular. He could get somebody, and bring them out into the light, and they would be making millions of dollars within
Yeah.
months, in the music industry and other things like that. Um, you imagine if the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, you put all those people out there, and they say, hey, I met the John Kennedy Jr. You ought to hear his story. He's on Amazon. You imagine if all those people said that within 1 week, I would be world news that week. I really, really would.
Yeah.
If, on the Tonight Show, they held up my book and said, I read this book. What an amazing book. You all have to read it. My story would be world. It really would.
Totally.
But Wayne told me if I wanted you out, you'd be out.
It's true.
And that's how he would do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
These people would get on Twitter, while all the paparazzis around taking their picture, they'd be on Twitter saying, check out John Kennedy Jr.'s book. It would be that simple, that fast with one star, but, doing a tweet. But you
Yeah.
imagine if they all did it, and Wayne had that power to tell them to all do it.
Right.
So Wayne said, if I wanted you out, you'd be out. But that's what keeps me going because there's a button somewhere that's going to get this story world,
That's
and
right.
it will happen overnight. We can't give up, just, but it would be that simple.
Yeah.
It really.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why someone is going to push that magic button, if you will. But you have to be out there and be visible. So we're doing the best we can. Everyone that's watching this, please share. We appreciate that. It feels like we're at a good breaking point for today. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I want to just say thank you to you, to Smarty supporters, to the Lions, people that are sending me cards, letters, the thank yous, the get wells, everything, the books. You people are so very much appreciated with all my heart. With that said, you haters go blow. Uh, you're not worth the crap on my shoes. But the Lions, thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much for being, strong, being out there and continuing to do what you've got to do. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sue, very much with all my heart.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.